Well, hello everybody! Welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. We're in the garden because it's windy as heck outside. If I was out there, you wouldn't be able to hear or think I'm saying. But the shade cloths here break a lot of the wind, but winds are about 30 miles per hour. And it was up in the hundreds again today, so a real cooker. So I just gave everything a good soaking because I had a couple of plants here starting to look like they weren't real happy. It was getting a little bit too hot for them. So what's that? Who's out there? Go get them. That's a free dessert. If you catch them, you can eat them. I hope somebody was out there and heard me say that. Anyway, yeah, everything got a good soaking here. And I want to show you something here that's making my mouth water. Look at these. Yeah, these are really starting to look good on there. Got some over here. Hopefully they're going to make it through. Heat wave big time. 108 yesterday. 104 I think it was today. 105. 105 the day before. So got some fresh growth on my fruit trees over there. But everything did need a good soaking, so we got it. Anyway, that's about the gist of things. That's what I did. Today I had to go take care of some corporate problems. Not my corporation. I'm dealing with other corporations. I forgot what I planted in there. I think it was a squash. But we'll find out soon, won't we? Hi there, lady. How you doing there, sweetheart? You're a little sweetheart, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Anyway, yeah, all the trees were looking a little sad, so they all got a good soaking too. Where was I going here? Wow, that wind is really getting stronger. Oh yeah, corporate problems. So one of the corporate problems I had was with, I'm going to take a seat right here, was with Home Depot. And for years, I've been always, my credit card payment is always due on the 4th of the month. So I always write a check, go into the store that I usually shop at. Everybody knows me. I come in on the 4th and they already know that I'm making a payment. And I just do the payment at the cash register, whichever one I get to first. That doesn't have a big line waiting. And that way I always have records of everything. Well, for May, the month of May, I didn't go to my normal Home Depot because one of my neighbors asked me if I would take a look at a friend of his garage door that was a problem. And that was in the city of Hesperia, so it was way out of my way from where I usually go. So while I was over that way, I decided to stop into a Home Depot in that area and make my payment because it was the 4th when we did that. So I went in and the girl was having a heck of a time. She kept putting the check in the little machine and it would kick it back out, put it in, kick it out. And she said, this machine's not working. So she moved to a different one. And she did it again about 8 more times in there. And finally she says, oh, finally it went through. Okay. And she stapled the receipt and the check together and handed it to me. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, God, I've been in here for 30 minutes trying to just make a simple payment on my credit card. That's ridiculous. But I didn't pay any attention, and I took it and I went home. Well, a couple of weeks later, I started getting emails from the credit card company saying, hey, you're delinquent on your payment. Well, long story short, I looked at the check. I had a check and I had a receipt from Home Depot that said I made a payment on the 4th. And the only thing weird about it was normally whenever I go any place, to any Home Depot, they always staple the check on top of the receipt so that I can see that I've got my check back and it's marked void across the check. Well, this girl had stapled the check behind the receipt, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I didn't think that it was a requirement to staple it over the top, but I found out from the manager today that it is. They always put it on top so you can see your check has been canceled, and that's it. Well, apparently somebody's in trouble because the manager is going to have a talk with somebody. Anyway, I had a manager involved today, and I was nice. I was polite about the whole thing, and I said, I want to start off by apologizing for turning your day sour. And he just looked at me and had a scared look on his face. But he did do a good job of taking care of it. I was in and out of there in under 30 minutes. And they said, don't worry, it's taken care of now. And it was a simple thing like, was the money taken out of your account? No. Okay. So write us another check. We'll make the payment. That'll settle that. And then we're going to get in touch with the credit card company and make sure that you don't have any adverse stuff added to your credit, like extra interest and any of that stuff. They'll make sure to take all of that. So I said, that's great, fine. And I was out of there. So then I came back and I had to deal with my cell phone company. And what's wrong with the cell phone company? Well, I'm with Verizon, and they have this thing they had advertised back last year about the Assurion, that insurance that I have on the phone. They now cover all of the electronics in your home for an extra, well, with my military discount, it was like an extra $18 a month. And I thought to myself, well, that's a pretty decent deal, because I've got a color laserjet printer that's acting up, and if it goes out, it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars to replace it. So I signed on for it, and long story short, in February, a few months later, the printer did go out. So I contacted them about getting it repaired or replaced, and they said, oh, well, we don't work on old computers like that, old printers like that, so you're going to have to send it to us and we'll get a new one. I said, hey, this thing is almost 80 pounds. You want me to send it to you? What are you, nuts? They said, oh, we'll send you the labels and stuff to put on it. I said, how about sending somebody to box it up and crate it and then carry it? Come on, give me a break. Well, I dealt with them for a couple of months. I just said, you know what? The hell with you guys. Cancel that new insurance thing. Give me my money back and interest, and we'll call it quits. Well, I got somebody online and finally said, yeah, it's all set. And your next bill, we'll deduct it from your next phone bill. And your next phone, hey, look at this guy. Hey, what are you doing over there? Hey, don't make me come out there. Oh, nut. Thank you. So anyway, cutting that story to an end, they gave me this runaround. They got me a manager online and said, yeah, I'll send you all the information in an email and we'll have this all taken care of. He sent me the conversation that he and I had on the phone. Nothing else. So 5 days have passed since I've heard from him and nothing has been taken care of. So I called again today and said, you know, you're wasting my time. I'm going to send you a bill for my time. I'm not happy with this. And I got a nice lady on the phone who's took care of the whole thing in 10, 12 minutes. It was done. She says, so you don't have anything to pay this month, and from now on your bill will be reduced to da-da-da-da-da-da. It was that simple. A manager and a supervisor couldn't do that 5 days ago. Jeez, what is wrong with the corporate world this year? Or in this day and age? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm glad you let me air myself out on that, because I was fit to be tied most of the day. And I still got one more to deal with, but that's for another day. Right now, I think I'm going to go in, have a cold one, make myself something to eat, take a hot shower, and get an early night's rest, because I tossed and turned all last night. I want to thank y'all for joining me, everybody. This is G Bear signing off. Come here, buddy. It's still a little sore, but you're walking a lot better. That's a good thing.